cynic, atheist, corona, this kind of thing.
Can you repeat?
Do you think that you are like the descendants of the pioneer of technical death metal?
No, certainly we're not. Certainly, there are so many even modern technical death metals that we are some of them maybe, but we certainly not the pioneers of the genre.
It's also hard to follow because even if you like some fan page on Facebook, which is about technical death metal, you have like every single day few albums, so it's like kind of crazy in this genre. And they're also super good bands. As Bogdan said, the main thing is to make it our pleasure first. So this is the music we want to listen to.
Would you like to explore maybe another genre with your music? Something,
To explore what?
Genre.
another genre, another style?
Not still. We actually started something on this record with some folk element, which some of them called like you know some weird singing, and we actually did the one cooperation that came out super cool with a violinist, our friend in Poland. Which the most interesting thing for us was that she recorded some part on viola da braccio, which is like a precursor of a violin. Very old instrument, completely different tuning. And when we first heard it, it was like, wow, it fits perfectly. So it kind of left like a mark that, hey, let's make a little bit of romance on the next record.
It was the last thing before the release, just
Yeah.
okay.
Just before the release, everything was ready. We just recorded it, and wow.
Okay, we'll add it to the album. And I think we just trying to mix different styles of music, and maybe someone will call it the new style, maybe not, but we're trying just to make interesting music for ourselves and for all people.
Yeah, we can talk perhaps about the specificity of the rhythm. Perhaps a question for Andre, the drummer. The gravity blast, can you explain the use of this rhythm that is quite rare because it's difficult to do?
Czy możesz objaśnić trochę Gravity Blast? Tak, objaśnić, że jest to rzadkie i ciężkie.
Bo mało kto to gra i
To jest po prostu fizyka.
It's just
I lata ćwiczeń.
it's just physics and a lot of years of practice, actually.
Origin, John Monstead, on my own main inspiration. For example.
Yeah, my inspiration, John.
From Origin.
Yeah.
I just
One of
byłem
the
jeszcze dzieckiem, jak zobaczyłem jak to wygląda.
When he was a kid and he saw that how it looks, he was just, had to start to do it.
Nie wiem, czy to dobrze zrobić.
No co? Nie.
What was your feeling yesterday after your show about,
Great feeling, great vibe. The complexity that everything went fine. After the airport, the flight was great, the meet was great, the guys are great. That we were with Chris and Joe. Then, it was amazing vibe. You could feel it in the air. So it really felt. We had some difficulties at the soundcheck, so it was a lot of stress for us because everything got messed up. But once we started playing, and we see the people's reaction, and the faces in the crowd, it's really great. For me personally, and I believe for the guys as well, it was one of the best shows. Maybe it's better sometimes to play a little stage and better people. I think that's the main rule. I had my personal opinion. I had in the past, for example, when we played in Poland. If you have like 10 people who are listening to you, it's fucking amazing. We play also for us to have a pleasure, and when you see people having fun, it's great. You can have like 2,000 people who just, it's hard to play, because you see they don't want to listen. Yesterday it was a whole different story. Great vibe.
It's always great after the concert, the feelings, but if you see the feedback from the crowd, and we were afraid, would they like us or not, but then when we saw the crowd, the people, reaction, we just flew away, and that was all great. We like it, really.
Perhaps we can't avoid the subject of Ukraine and war in Ukraine, as two members of the band are from this country. Did you expect such event, and do you still have hopes to see this war ending? And which impact did it have on your life directly?
Directly for our lives, it took some part, but we in Poland we lived for a long time, for about 10 years, but some of our family members are there. Lucky they are in the safer area, but every day the bombs thrown, and it's like always the alarm at the night, and just you can't normally sometimes to sleep, because I'm sometimes talking with my friends, and it's really hard. It's really hard and messed up.
What are the main themes in your songs, and is there something you would like to sing about?
Yeah, you mean lyrically or?
Yeah.
Mainly lyrically. We have like few things in common that we like to make lyrics. It's like, Slavic culture, mythology, but not like in the front, put it in the front, but in concerns of modern society, socio-techniques that are used nowadays and stuff like that. And we try to mix it. I try to mix it with my personal, just naturally came some words, some verses. But we have like few things in common that we really like to touch those subjects. They fit like perfectly. When we have a song, it just you feel like the lyric is already there. It just waits to be written and waits to be sung. So, but definitely those subjects will stay. It's pretty interesting area to dig into. Since I know maybe not so many bands approach this subject in that way. Of course, it's explored by bands, especially now from northern countries. But I think we put it in the album like our perspective from it. So those are main inspiration that I think will last. But we are of course open. We will see what the time will bring.
What's for you the meaning of KARPATHIAN RELICT? The symbol behind that, or the story?
We just, I think it will be just trying to rebrand, to change the name, and we, for a while, we just decided how should we call it, and we like mountains, Carpathian, sometimes to go there on the peaks, and
also Karpaty was the mountains that kind of connected Ukraine and Poland. So that was like one thing.
Yeah, and we just live near that area, and we like, and then the second week is also something special, old, ancient, and then we like it. We accepted all members, and it was done.
And could you explain who is that divinity on your phone?
that would be something that our graphic artist would have to explain, because he it's not so maybe interesting story, but he also did art covers for many like top league bands like Nile and stuff like that. He's like top league graphic artist. And actually, we had another graphic artist that didn't finish, and we decided we will go with this guy. And well, we sent him songs, and he asked us, okay, so what's the first sentences? So what do you want in this artwork? And you were like, we didn't have like the main vision. Oh, it has to be this and that. We just wrote him a few words. Actually, we wrote him like simple words like Slavic, autumn colors, red, maybe some mythology, and that was it.
Some creature.
Yes, some creature, but it was not like in front. He just made it, and there was not even one change. He just made it, and he said he's the vocalist in a metal band in Poland. So I talked with him a little bit, and he said that once he started listening the few first songs, he just had a vision that it has to be all the cover has to be around like one guy, like the god or something, from the forest. He couldn't explain like directly. So this is the most complex answer I can give you about this preacher in the front cover.
Could you explain the concept song Silent Waters in the middle of the album?
We started, Bogdan wrote, we wrote it half lyrics. Yeah, and it is, those both songs kind of connects in some, I don't know, maybe even in some spiritual way. It is actually like a story about, I know it's not like a complex story that from point A to point B. It's more like I don't know, expressing the way of feelings, but the main thing is around and probably an old witch that lives in the forest, and with analogies to the modern society.
It's like a mythological a little bit, all those things, the story that just creepy maybe.
Yeah, a little bit creepy, mysterious.
Pierre from Senior Metal. In Poland there is a tradition of death metal. When you were kids, did you grow up listening to this style, and is it because of that tradition that you have become a death metal band?
Poland is rooted in death metal. Actually, we also we both live in a city where Decapitated come from. The guy started the band there. So it's it was kind of easy, because everybody was listening to it, and for example, in a city a few years ago, of course now everything got complicated, but 3 years ago, before the COVID, there was a situation that in a city that contains like 50,000 people, there were 3 clubs that were organizing metal shows. So it's like a lot for that kind of very small city.
And
So
population is about 50,000.
50,000 people.
Near
Yeah.
50,000.
So,
Small
so,
city.
so you have metal everywhere. So when you were growing up in this kind of environment, it was like natural that you came into, because it was everywhere. I remember there was like metal and rappers. Like always. But it was pretty much everywhere. So it influenced maybe even your way of thinking, lifestyle.
Now it's the season of the concerts is open from September, for example, at that club, and every week there is a concert. Rock, metal.
Yeah, really. Yeah.
Almost every week.
When you create your music, do you prefer to write the lyrics first or to compose the music first?
Actually, I received completed music already for the lyrics, and after that, I just listened to the songs and we put it. Bogdan had few lyrics also. So we put it all together, but with these lyrics it was very easy. We used also some fragments, like we used an old English poem in one of the songs, but it was like very easy. We heard the music, and I heard the vocals already. When I played the music, I already heard how the vocals line should be. But it was after we had the music already complete.
Do you think that the fourth album will be more difficult to compose, to find new ideas? Is your music limited, or do you have a large range of possibilities to go?
I think not. We're just making with it. There is no limitations for the songwriting. We have some sketches, demos, and also there will be for sure some complex long songs, but also some kind of action style movie. 3 minutes just blast beats. And we'll try to mix it together.
If you had to pick up between the 4 last dinosaurs of heavy metal, Deep Purple, Iron Maiden, AC/DC, Metallica, which band would you pick up?
Maybe it's bad.
I can choose. It would be definitely Motorhead from those. For me.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of old style metal.
Yeah, I talked only about a live band, not a band from the past. Yeah.
Co coś się zdarzyło?
Oh, AC/DC is great. Metallica is precursor of the
Maybe metal.
yeah, thrash metal. So they give lots of riffs, and these riffs, jak to powiedzieć, że popierałem te riffy, znaczy inne zespoły po prostu oparły się na tych riffach też.
The Metallica was like the precursor of some riffs, but after the Metallica catched up, at least some ideas after those riffs.
Yeah, of course, Black Sabbath. Yeah, this is.
Yeah, it was even.
Yeah.
They showed for humanity down picking.
Oh yeah, this is the that's also probably most important for me as well.
Now your album is now out. Have you scheduled some new concert live somewhere? A tour or something like that?
We do, when we come back to Poland, we do have like a book with our friends for opening the season in a club, like also long show around an hour. But after that, we are not pushing, with longer tours. As for now, of course, we will be planning in the future, like we even talked yesterday that maybe some tour in European countries. But we are not pushing much since we have works, families, and we try to keep it like, you want to do it. You just want to do it. You want to play the show, You don't care about, expenses and stuff like that, but you want to play the show. So this is kind of like passion for us. We need to have a pleasure from it. It's like riding a bike or anything else. So I think in our situation, I think it wouldn't be a good idea to push and play a lot of shows like every week or something, because it wouldn't work well. I think definitely it would be super cool to get some tour. We have like also a lot of contacts in Poland with the guys who tour all the time. Like Hate, Vader. They're like gypsies actually. One day in Poland, one in Dubai, the next one New Zealand. It's like they live on the tour. I don't think it would be a good idea for us, but we would definitely like to have some schedule that we play like again. 1 2 shows a month, one bigger tour in a year.
Is one of your main goals to make KARPATHIAN RELICT known everywhere, or you just do it for fun?
Without
For me,
passion,
for
you can
fun.
do it. Just
Yeah, I mean for fun, it's kind of like, of course we want the band to grow, right, and to have more listeners and stuff like that. But it's not like the priority.
We don't have to push to the fame, yeah. This is okay, what is happening right now, yeah. We are really happy and yeah, thanks a lot for this. But
Yeah,
we
for
don't
having
have
us.
this push to, we must be fame, the KARPATHIAN RELICT must be everywhere, yeah. No.
And I think also with rock and metal music, it's something. I even told the guys yesterday that it's a little bit something weird. That you have like bands that have like let's say 20,000 views on a video, and they sell a show. You know, there is some full people, and that's a lot. And there is some influencer or TikToker that has a few millions, and sometimes there's a half of the venue. It's kind of crazy how the world and the audiences react to different styles. I think in rock and metal music, the audience in the front row, in the long term, they stick to one band, they observe them. So
for the moment, the balance between your personal life and music is perfect for you.
yes, yeah. Andrzej, balans pomiędzy życiem prywatnym a muzyką. Tak jak jest.
Always try to keep the balance. Sometimes it's hard, but
Yeah, first
try
of
to
all,
keep it in balance.
it must be fun, yeah. If it's not fun, it sucks.
Of course you have to push through some hard times. It's normal. You go to the gym and you push the weights to make some form. But it's like we said and like you guys said, it has to be that feeling that you want to do it.
Is there a particular band you would love to go on tour with?
Bogdan?
My dream is to play concert with the Decapitated.
This guy from the neighborhood, yeah.
But I don't know him personally. But they're great musicians. Every time they often visit that club, and every time they just arrive, I must be at the show. Always listen to all the CDs, and every time it's a new album, and hoping this year they will also present the last one.